Welcome to another episode of the Empowerment Platform, where our mission is to empower you to reach your goals, whatever they may be. I'm joined as always by our other host, Mr. Corey Seague. Corey, how's it going?
Oh man, it's always a great day. But I will tell you, I'm kind of getting tired of this bipolar weather in Houston because it was 70 degrees yesterday. It's like 40 degrees today, 50 degrees today, and I got some trust issues with the weather going on right now. But yeah, other than that, man, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be above ground right now.
So I think that weather thing, man, unless you are in some of the sunny locations, we all deal with it. Um, in Maryland, it's the same thing. It could be warm one day, cold the next day. But the thing we have is that overcast and clouds 6 out of 7 days out the week.
Man, I ain't trying to deal with that.
Man, I'm telling you. So we just want to thank you guys for joining us. And to recap what we talked about last week, overcoming the toxic mindset. We had Corey's brother on, Tim. He dropped some gems on us. One of my main takeaways from that, for those of you who may not have seen the episode yet, was that whenever you get into a situation and your mind begins to work against you, what can you do to get outside of that? And for him, it was washing cars. He go out, detail the car, take you about 2, 3 hours. For him, he really gets into it, and then he was able to shift his mind, get it off of whatever he was thinking about, and then move forward. And I thought that was something very important because we all get into funks or situations where we don't feel as good as we want to feel, or just we're having a hard time. So what can we do to shift our mind and then go back to that thing? So that was one of my key takeaways. Corey, what do you think for you? What was your key takeaway from that conversation?
Yeah, I think my key takeaway was kind of how everything comes full circle. And me knowing my brother, I mean, there's his gift and what he's talented in. He was always picked on about it, and it comes full circle when through doing the work, all of a sudden he ends up in the position that he needs to be in, and that utilizes his talent and his gift the best. But in the midst of it, you may not be able to see it, and you may just be feeling like you're just working every day. But if you're intentional about it, that's what I got out of it. If you're intentional about it, things will come full circle and get to you the way that they need to.
Good, good. And so today, I want to kind of just continue that conversation, continue that topic. Again, as you join us, as you're jumping in, like and share, push this information out there. We can only impact so many people, but with your help, we can reach those who may not be in our network, our community. So just like and share. Always go back, catch us on YouTube for the replays. We come here, catch us on Facebook, really dive into and learn this information. Some of these are rewatches. I mean, you watch it and then you need to go and replay that thing again to catch other stuff that you might have missed. Keeping up with the topic of escaping that toxic mindset, my next man, what I'm learning, Corey, and what I'm seeing is people are committed. You're either committed to one thing or the other. And you may think that, well, I'm not committed to mediocrity. I'm not committed to ineffectiveness. I'm not committed to lack or being poor. But if you're not committed to change, by default, you committed to the other thing. And it's all areas of life. And I want the audience to get this point right here. What are you committed to? Or answer this question. What are you committed to? Are you committed to life? Or are you committed to just existing? Because Corey, most people ain't living, they existing. They're getting by,
Agreed.
barely making it. Um, times is tough. I swear I hear some people, times is tough. It's been tough for the 50 years they've been alive.
Oh yeah.
When you are constantly in a situation where things are going wrong, it's you. It's not the world. Of course, things happen in the world, things go on in the world, things that we can't control. But our response, our choice, our decision, how we go through and choose to grow through is all on us. So, Corey, talk to me about that. Talk to me about your experiences with seeing the people being committed to the negative versus being committed to the positive angle of things.
Yeah, I run into this daily, honestly, and it's something that is easily adjustable. And the reason I say it's easy because in reality it's not that easy. If it was, everybody would be doing it. It's literally a choice of, and I don't know if you've ever heard this story before, Tyrus, and they said there's two wolves that live inside of you. There was like two wolves, wherever, and they say that, one was good, one was bad, and it's the one that overcomes the other is the one that you feed more. And so, it's just every day I see people make decisions, and I see people make an effort, I guess you could say. And you said it the utmost correctly when you said if you don't commit to changing, by default you're committing to toxic, to negativity, to non-growth. But I see people every day just existing. And one of the things you said was, that, man, times are hard. Man, you got people that have been trying to make it to Friday every Friday for the last 50, 60 years. They're just trying to make it to Friday. If I could just make it to Friday, it's another week down. But you don't shift your mind to a point to say, I don't really care if it's Friday. Friday's another day. Yeah, you might be off tomorrow, but that gives you another day after that to self better yourself, to self develop yourself. And when I say that it's easy, it is literally a commitment that you make to yourself of doing just something every single, get 1% better every single day and do something positive, right? It could be going on a walk, it could be reading a book, it could be reaching out to a friend to talk something through, not talk about a mess, but it could just be, it's something, that just progresses you forward. And I find that when I have these conversations with a lot of people, because as you know, like, I'm trying to help people build teams and build cultures and all these things. And I can't help the team build if the leader's not built. And a lot of time the leader has these toxic behaviors or these issues that they're going through, but and you can't get your team to get to a certain level unless you're there. So yeah, it's a everyday reoccurring thing. And I think that it's easier for people to feed into positivity, but you gotta start to get that momentum on board. Like momentum can swing either way. But so you gotta get that momentum on board.
And of course, what you said, the thing, whichever one you feed, that's the one that's going to grow stronger. That's the one that's going to come out. It is so easy to feed negativity. It is so easy to take the easy way out. It is so easy to give in, give up, complain, whine. And I don't know if for sure if it was Iyanla Van Zant who said this, what I heard the other day. It could have been, it kind of sounded like a mix between her, Oprah, and Whoopi Goldberg. So I'm like, I can't catch the voice all the way. But I believe it was Iyanla, but what she said was, and if it wasn't her, it was one of the other two. So she implemented a no whining Wednesday, no complaining Wednesday. And so what she would tell people was, okay, if you whine, complain, moan, gripe, blame somebody else, you got to put a quarter or something in the jar. And she was like, so many people sent her pictures of full jars because we spend the majority of our time complaining and whining and griping and moaning and woe is me and it's somebody else's fault and I can never get on track. But we don't spend enough time trying to figure out what is it that I need to do in order to do that. We all know that information is in books. Les Brown, I believe, said, yeah, it was him. And it's an average. The average American reads one book per year. But if you read one book per month within 5 years, you will be an expert in whatever you're reading. People don't want to put in that kind of time. I have people that contact me that complain about situations that I send them books that talk about that situation. And when I say, have you read the book? No, I ain't get a chance. You're not committed at that point. And I'm not talking from a perspective of I've always been committed. A lot of you know my story of me going through physical situations, health conditions, and being in pain for a long time. At what as this year, I got tired of that. In 2020, I got tired of that. September 1st, 2020, I got tired of being in pain for the last 10 years of my life. And then I was committed to make a change. Now I'm pain free. And when I look back, I say, man, if I just had been committed 10 years ago, I could have been enjoying those years. So if you're listening, if there's something in your life that you want to change, commit today and stop wasting time. It is nobody else's fault, no matter what you've been through. It's your fault to continue to live in something that's already over. And if the situation isn't over, figure out how to get out of it. That might mean cutting people off. That might mean getting that divorce that you don't want to get for the sake of the kids or whatever you want to make the excuse is. You might not want to quit your job because you have a fear of going out and getting a new job. You might have a fear of investing. You might not know how to get in shape. Figure out a way, because as long as you continue to not commit, you by default commit to the situation and the problem that you have. And if you hope, if you wish, if you just want things to be better, if you don't understand why this happens to me, you are committed to settling. That means when you wish, hope, dream, and Corey, I don't want the evangelicals to come get me. But even when you pray and you don't take no action, even when you say, I'm waiting on God, and you use God as the excuse, you're not committed to change. You have defaulted to be committed to mediocrity. And so, yes, I do pray. And my prayer is simple. I just pray that God will be done, His decision, His will for everything in my life. And then I go to work. And I just pray that if God, if this is for me, if this is what you want me to do, may it be fruitful and be blessed. If it's something that you don't want me to do, go and shut that door. And then I understand. But I got to go to the door to even know if it's a shut door or open door. So, Corey, talk to me about that aspect of it, that hoping, that wishing, that dreaming, that that mm, I guess it settling. Have you ever settled on something in life and then you realize, you know what, I didn't have to settle and I had to change?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with y'all, it happens all the time. I've settled for friendships. I've settled for actual relationships, like intimate relationships. I've settled for, um, you know, things that I've done in school. I've settled for jobs that I've had. Like I, I would be, I would be lying to every single person listening right now if I said that it's not a part of it's a part of life to understand that, you know what, sometimes you're gonna settle. And it's something you said you can't control what happens to you, but it is your responsibility for how you react to it. Because we things happen, right? We talk about 2020, things happen in 2020, have no control over that. It is your responsibility for how you react. It was your responsibility for you learning something new. It was your responsibility for positioning yourself correctly. It was your responsibility to make sure that you're still growing in 2020. And we know a lot of people who say, oh man, just wipe 2020 away. I don't want to wipe 2020 away because 2020 was great for me. 2020 brought about a lot of abundance to me, a lot of growth, a lot of knowledge, a lot of action taking for myself. So I don't want to get rid of 2020. But again, I can't control that thing shut down in 2020. I controlled how I not even control. I had a responsibility for how I react to it. And so something I want people to realize is you may look at us and you may look at these people always preaching positivity and you say, man, there's nothing wrong with them, like nothing bad ever happens to them. And like an individual told me this last week, I think, and she said, I don't think anything ever like bad ever happens in your life, like you don't have any bad days. And I simply said, it's not that I don't have bad days, it's not that nothing bad happens in my life, I just don't understand how it would bring me progression. Like, I
Mm.
don't understand, like, what the bad thing happened and I harp on it and I dwell on it. What progress did that bring me? What thought did that bring to me after that? Because we have to understand the average human being has 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts a day. Now, here's the thing. I'm gonna break down these stats for these statistics out here, or statisticians.
Yeah, yeah.
So the average person has 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts a day. 80% of those are negative. 95 of those are repeated.
Yep.
So if you keep repeating, think about this, 95 of those thoughts are 95% of those thoughts are repeated and 80% of them are negative. What do you think that you're really repeating in your head all day? Negative thoughts. Even the same for me. Sometimes I think to myself, "Hey, are you really cut out for this? Are you really, or is this really where you want to go? Man, you could kind of go over there and get this cush little job or whatnot and just kind of make it through.
Mhm.
You don't have to worry about impacting lives. You don't have to worry about bettering people. You could kind of go still stand in the corner, which I probably could. But is that truly what I'm here for? But you have to shift your mind to say, even if, and we're not saying, and correct me if I'm wrong with this, Tyrus, on your thought process. We're not saying you have to knock out from 80% of them being negative to 0%. What if you just cut it by 20%? What if you cut it by 15%? What if you started by cutting it by 1%? And some of those thoughts start to die down. But how do you do that? The conversations that you have with people, the people that you surround yourself with, the accountability measures that you have on the other side, right? Like you hop on a call every single morning for accountability. I guarantee you, Tyrus walks away from that conversation saying, my mind is correct. I know what I need to go ahead and do. I'm on the path, right? There's a lot of people that wake up in the morning and you're angry when you go to work. You're angry on the way to work. You're angry fixing breakfast because you're like, oh my God, I got to go to work. So you woke up in a bad attitude. You woke up with negativity. And it's just that this trickles down. How do you think that you're going to get yourself out of a funk or get yourself into a positive place when you consistently feed yourself negativity? Tyra, as a matter of fact, I said I wasn't going to do it, but I said, you know what? And I'm gonna just say the Lord spoke to me today, and he said, go ahead and drop a comment on that. And the individual said, um, with some expletives in this. For those of you who don't know what that word means, that means some cuss words. Um, and so she said, I need to delete this app if you want to insert said word before app, because all I see is people talking about people and negativity. And I responded to her simply, you can control this. You know that, right? And her response to me was, that's why I'm deleting this app. Now, let me tell you why this was the incorrect way to answer that question. Because you're running from the issue. You're not approaching it as saying, how do I control my environment? You're saying, I'm just going to remove myself. And if I ever come back, it's going to be the same environment if I ever go back to it. But I'm not going to change what I can control within this. You can unfollow people. You can block people. You could even flat out tell them, yo, I'm not even going to engage in this behavior with you anymore. But what you choose to do is just remove yourself from the situation and not take control of your environment and say, this is how it's going to go from today on. Like we listen to social media all day and everybody talk about this social dilemma. And I'm going to be quiet for a second after this, though. Everybody talk about this social dilemma and they were freaked out because they said, oh man, the internet just feeds you what they want you to see.
Yeah.
The internet feeds me positivity all day. I'm like, all I see down my line is business, positivity, growth, get better with me, listen to this nugget here, all that. So, congratulations, internet. All you're going to do is continue to feed me growth. I don't have a problem with that. And a lot of people don't understand that understanding social media is the same thing about your life. It's a different platform than face to face, and you control what's allowed in front of you. You control what life feeds you. You control what the world feeds you. And most people, they just take the approach of, I'm just going to exit the situation. I'm not going to change this. So if I ever have to come back, I'm just going to exit and then run away from the problem. So yeah, that's my TED talk, y'all. I'm gonna be done with that.
You went all the way, Ted, and I'm gonna come right behind you with that. Personal responsibility is what you're describing. Instead of me standing up and dictating almost what is acceptable for Tyrus. What am I going to accept? Instead of doing that, I'll just run away or I won't say anything. And so people silently suffer because they just won't take a stand for what they want or what they believe. See comments all the time about, I don't know how to tell my family my dreams. I don't know how to tell my friends. Tell them, and it doesn't matter what they think. I don't understand how we've gotten to a point to where telling the truth hurts people so much and then ruins relationships. Now, I'm not a believer in the truth is relative. Oh, it's your truth is your truth, my truth. No, it's one truth. Now,
Ain't but one.
perception might be relative, how you perceive it. So let's figure out, how do you perceive the information? Where are we getting stuck at? What are we not agreeing about? I mean, we're so fast to get negative and defensive instead of asking the right questions and saying, "Did you really mean this by this?" I mean, even when Corey and I talk, we both have strong personalities. Corey always says, "Now, Tyrus, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you say this, did you mean this?" Corey ain't never just jumped up and got mad because I said something and then he didn't say nothing but, "Oh, I'm mad." There is a responsibility that you have to commit to be excellent in all you do. And when you make that commitment, sure, you might lose some relationships because some people may not be on the same wavelength you are anymore, and that's fine. There are seasons in life, and some people, even great friends, they might just be with you for that season. And then they go on to a season in their life, and you go on to the season in yours. And like Corey said, when I jump on those accountability calls, I do that to surround myself with people who are looking to go further than where they are. Somebody I can sharpen my axe against, somebody I can bounce ideas off against. I got accountability call, I believe, 7 days a week. 7 days a week. Now, do I get on every single one of them? No. I think I miss one a week. But other than that, I'm looking forward to getting on that call so I can hear the positivity, so I can hear people winning, so I can hear success stories, so I can hear people saying, you know what? I went to the doctor today and I got my good report. Or, you know what? I had a difficult time in business, but here's my plan. Here's my blueprint to get out. Nobody is complaining on those calls because everybody is looking to get to a certain place. And if you're listening out there, you're trying to figure out, how can I get from where I am to where I want to be? Just be committed. Dream your dream and then make it a reality for yourself. I don't care if you there ain't no excuses. I mean, me and Corey then came from the pits of the pits. So there is no excuse for nobody in the world that say they cannot make it. I had a guest on that was from Liberia, Civil War as a child dealing with being around child soldiers, being a refugee, leaving the country, coming to New Jersey in the projects, successful real estate investor. There is no excuse. People have made it from all different parts of the world that had to overcome their situation. And at the bottom of that is personal responsibility and being committed to something different. And now, back in the day, you used to be able to say, well, I don't see anybody around me doing it, so I just don't know what to do. Like Corey said, Facebook, social media, the internet, it's either a blessing or a curse to you, but it depends on what you put in the search box. The stuff that pops up on your timeline isn't a result of Facebook putting it there because they read your brain. It's a result of Facebook putting it there because you searched it and you continue to click on it and you allow it to feed you and you want to see it. You want to see the argument. You want to see the violence. You want to see the shoot. You want to see the people that go down to the Capitol. Corey, let me tell you about this Capitol thing. I'm right here in Maryland, 15 minutes away from DC. And people might call me naive. They might say what they want to say. I didn't even know it was going on until people called me from Alabama asking me, was I safe? Of course I'm safe. Why wouldn't I be? You don't know what's going on at the Capitol? No, I don't. They down there riding. Okay. They broke some laws. It will be handled. But what does that have to do with me going to the next level in my life? And even if you want to be vigilant, let's just say that because that's what people say. Well, you're not going to be vigilant. You're not going to know how to go. Oh, you're not going to protect yourself. Even if I want to be vigilant, is only gonna be so far to the point that I know or have an awareness is going on, but I'm not gonna worry about it. We all went to bed and got up the same way the next day, except for those people that lost their lives in that nonsense. But the rest of us went to bed, got up, you went to the job that you hate, you in that relationship that you hate, you mad at your kids, still living your same life, but you have so much to say about the people that went to the Capitol to be mad at whatever they want to be mad about. So it's almost like the pot calling the kettle black. You want to be mad and you want to protest or you want to argue or you want to incite or you want to do whatever you want to do about your situation. But when those people went and did and said what they wanted to do about what they believe, you got a problem with it. Let those To me, Corey, I am the type of person to let a person have their opinion. Wrong or right. It's their opinion. If I disagree, I just disagree and move on. I have long left the mindset of I gotta force you to believe. I gotta force you to see the truth. I just gotta help you through it. We do this empowerment platform to empower you to reach your goals. But if you listen and you say, you know what, I don't agree with nothing y'all doing, I got my own way, boom, go do it. Better for you. But then don't call when something didn't go right. You say, you know what, I should have listened. Maybe, but let's help you where you are now. No hard feelings, no love lost, nothing like that. So I know I went off on a tangent there because I had to get that off my chest. I still see people posting on Facebook about you hear they protest, you hear they getting all this stuff set up over the inauguration. Not really, because I don't watch the news. I watch the news maybe 5 minutes every 3 days. And that's just to get a highlight, a real brief of what's going on. But as far as the sensationalism, as far as the thing that people focus on, Jim Rohn said that you start your day off by getting into some kind of personal development, some kind of positivity, some kind of uh, podcast, something, listen to something positive to set your day off right. He said most people they get up and back in his time they read newspapers and then watching the news. And he said, of course, if you read everything about the death, the murder, the crime, the wars, the drought, you're gonna go to work and your whole day is gonna be negative because that's what you have digested into your mind. A tip for the people out there around the first 15 to 20 minutes in the morning when you wake up, that's when your subconscious mind is the most impressionable. So whatever you feed it in those first 15 to 20 minutes, it's gonna cycle
Yeah,
like
that
crazy.
right there.
It's gonna cycle in your mind. It's gonna cycle when you go to sleep at night. That last thing that you read, watch, listen to, go to bed on the argument, go to bed mad at your kids, go to bed hating to wake up in the morning, your subconscious mind gonna replay that all night long because your subconscious mind doesn't sleep. Your conscious mind sleeps and you rest, but your subconscious mind never sleeps. It never really takes a break. So it's just replaying that information. And that's why when you go to bed watching Friday the 13th, next thing you know, you running from Jason in your dreams because your subconscious mind is replaying that. So digest, download positive information in your life. Be committed to positivity. Be committed to figuring out, like Corey said, when most people when they have a hard time, they want to quit or they run into something. Stop looking at obstacles as that and look at them as objectives to overcome. What is the positive thing that I can pull out of this bad situation? What is the opportunity versus the obstacle? A slight change in word perception, how we look at things, cha- it matters everything to how we can proceed in life. And Corey, I got one more thing, and then I want you to take it. I got another question for you, but the last thing is to be intentional about being committed. A lot of people say, well, I'm gonna commit to, especially around New Year's, I'm gonna commit to my new diet, my new fitness plan. It lasts like everybody knows it don't last like 2 or 3 weeks, and then you're back to your regular you because your intent is not true change. Your intent is saying it so other people can think that you're making a change. And those people, I want to go and tell you the truth. Those people that you're looking up to, those people that you want to know so much about, those people that you want to follow, you only see the positive part of their life because they don't tell you the negative. And to be honest, if you haven't surrounded yourself with the right people, those people that you try so hard to please don't really care about you. They glad when you go through the rough situation because it's not them. They're not fighting for you. Corey, how can give me a practical way to dissolve or move from negative relationships? Because that's what most people deal with. My family don't believe it in me. My family's negative. I'm in a bad intimate relationship right now. I might not have the best relationship with my kids. I hate my coworkers. How do we begin to dissolve or move away from negative relationships?
Yeah, so let me before we hop into that, I want to add something that you just said because a lot of people they talked about that Capitol and how people stormed the Capitol, and they were like, "Oh man, these folks crazy." And like you said, I don't have any problem with people voicing their perspective or their opinion. It may be different than mine. I want to gain some understanding to it, and that's fine. Do I agree with what you're doing? Maybe not. Would I have stormed the Capitol? Absolutely not. I don't enjoy jail. I'm just be honest with you. However, this gonna sting for somebody. You over there watching because I was the same as you, Tyrus. One of my coworkers they had texted me and said, "Man, you see what's going on in the news right now?" I was like, "I don't watch the news." They were like, "These people crazy." I was like, "What people?" And they were like, "They storming the Capitol." I was like, "This has to be a cartoon or something." But I had no clue this was going on because I was too busy actually executing. I don't have I like I don't know what that's gonna do for me. But it's what I mean by it's gonna sting for somebody. So you watching the news, watching these people climb the walls and break the windows and stuff like that, while you still complaining at your job about how you ain't got a raise in 5 years, you
Mm.
over there watching somebody execute, talking about they crazy, and you can't even execute at your job.
Hold up, I need to get the yeah, I gotta get the air horn or something because now you hit something. You hit it. Go ahead because go ahead. Imma let you go on
No,
finish.
no, let it out, because I know it's brewing in there.
I didn't even think about that. Those people, right or wrong, for what they did, and we all know it's wrong, they broke some laws,
Right.
they executed on what they were committed to.
Like legit, and that's the thing. We could think about perspective. Oh man, it's right or wrong or whatever it is. The principle behind it all is they did it. They set their mind to it. I don't know how many people were out there, but they set their mind to something and they said, "This, we're actually going to do this." Meanwhile, you're sitting at home still talking about, well, if only, if I coulda, I wish this would have happened, whatever. You watching people actually execute the thing they were trying to do, and you not pulling anything from that thinking, you know what, if they could do that, well shoot, if they can storm the Capitol, maybe I could do a better job at work.
Mm.
But I'm gonna get off that. But so
We're gonna get hate mail for that, Corey. You
oh
won't.
yeah, it's gonna pile up at the door. If not, the IRS gonna be at the door because they didn't say I didn't say something crazy. So I'm blinking for those of y'all watching this on Facebook, on YouTube. Like yeah, y'all gotta help because I might not be here next week. Um, but so I guess it remind me of what the question was because I felt deeply about that.
Cut dissolving bad or negative relationships.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna be honest. I'm cut a little bit different. My cold shoulder game is impeccable. However, not everybody's cold shoulder game is on 99 on 2K. Um, for me, I simply just cut the snake off at the head. Like I cut the head off, and the rest of the snake's gonna die. What I mean by that, I ain't around here chopping no heads off. So again, the IRS, if you're listening, or FBI, if you're listening, I did not storm the Capitol and I did not chop nobody head off. However, what I mean by that is I simply have the conversation and say, you are no longer valuable right now. Um, or I let to be honest with you, I believe that a lot of people are passive in their life. And the reason that it's not a good thing is because if you don't stand up, then your life will just keep on passing, keep on passing, keep on passing. And life will never know where you stand in life for it to give you what you need. And so I've had these friendships where, and I mean, Tyrus, I was ace boon coon with some people, and I don't even talk to them anymore. Why? Because all you bring is drama, you
Mm.
bring pettiness, you bring like struggle. My brain hurts because I'm trying to be empathetic towards your issues because you talking about Jimmy looked at you wrong at work today. I don't have time for that. I can get where you're coming from, but and y'all know who I'm talking about. Y'all have had some relationships where y'all have had some relationships where it's draining because the person they always have an issue. They always got something wrong. Woe is me, and I can't never get right. And it's so those people when you ask them like, "How you doing today?" They be like, "It's another day," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, golly, is that it? Like it's just another day." But for me, I have the conversation up front. Hey, look, man, it's just I can't hang around you no more. But this the thing. I know everybody doesn't have that gumption, as the old folks used to say. They don't have that gumption to be able to do that. So the thing is you want to start positioning yourself around people, and this is for my passive people here. You want to start positioning yourself around people who your friends will almost quit you because they see where you're going. And so you're starting to work and you're starting to put yourself in a positive place. You're starting to put yourself around positive environments. You're starting to put the work in to progress yourself. And I guarantee you, eventually, it will piss those people off. The ones that don't need to be around you, they're going, oh man, you just always trying to, and it's happened to me before. I mean, it's just always trying to be positive. Oh man, you just always think that people can just do better in life. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, they just going on about their business.
And let me stop you right there, Corey, because you said something right there. And I've had people say that to me. You changed and now you want to be positive. But ain't that what we supposed to be doing?
Right.
Like I'm confused. Like, so you want me to stay committed to being negative and being argumentative and being whatever else you think that, but what happens is, and I do understand it. People get used to who you were in their life to them. So when you make a change, even if it's for the better, you're no longer that same person to them. And they feel like, okay, now you're taking away my what I'm familiar with, and it's uncomfortable. And instead of them thinking, maybe I should be trying to grow too, they want to be upset with you over it. And people do that all the time. Oh, you think you better than me. Nobody said anybody was better than anybody else. But because I don't want to drink no more and hang out and kill 8 cases of Budweiser with you. I'm not better than you. I just have a different perspective on what I want my liver to look like when I'm 60 or my kidney or whatever it damages. So I love that you brought that up because I want people to and like you said, you got to be able to stand on your own and stop being passive. A lot of people now, I don't want nobody to take this the wrong way, but this is the only way I know how to say it. Well, you get what you deserve.
Oh, say that.
And what I mean by that is, does anybody deserve to be abused? No, they don't. Some people are in situations, especially kids, where they can't control that. But when there comes a point in life where you can control it, you have the total responsibility to get out of it. Whether it's through aligning yourself, because I understand all the psychology around it, that okay, you have these syndromes, you start to be in love with the abuser, you're captive, it's all those things are real. However, that is a process. That don't happen overnight. You don't just get kidnapped and you fall in love with the abuser after you got kidnapped. It's because you've been there long enough to where now you have that peace. But in the end, and I know this is a tough one, you have to fight for your life in any situation. Corey, Imma die before you hold me captive.
Yeah, and check this out. For the majority of people, like there's a certain specific amount of people who are caught in situations like that, and I feel for them. And like you said, it's a process to get there. So even in that, you can take something away. But when people start to talk about you change because you don't want to drink, you don't want to smash a six pack with them, or you've changed because now you think positively and you don't want to, host a roast at the grocery store and clown everybody while you're there and be, you know what I'm saying, and belittle people. And they say, "Oh man, you've changed." But like you said, ain't that what we supposed to do? But here's the thing. People get upset, and I firmly believe this is because just like in those other situations, someone wants to be in control of you.
Yep.
In this situation, someone wants to be in control of your emotions and your thought process. And I want people to still think about it in that regard. So when people say, "Oh man, you changed. You think you're better than me. You think you think you're just a positive man now, a positive woman now." You're simply upset because you want control over my emotions and I no longer allow it.
Mm. And my question, and next time if somebody, I haven't had anybody say that to me in a while, but I went through that phase. I think it's a phase, and I think people now see on the other side what really happens. But if somebody asks me that again, I'm just gonna simply ask them, what should I be doing then? What is it that would, from your perspective, what should I do? Should I whine and cry? We all go through situations that's tough, and we like, man, why did this happen? Or man, this came at the wrong time. But what we're saying is, don't live in that. If you lost your job during COVID-19 in 2020, yes, you can't control it. That happened. But to lay around and I don't know what to do with my life, that's on you. That's really on you, because you should always be thinking about what can I be doing with my life. And if you don't know what to do, if you lost your job for 20 years and you don't know what to do, think about what you used to dream about as a kid, what you wanted to be, and what you settled for. If you lost your dream job, figure out how you can go back and get the same job somewhere else. All companies didn't go out of business, just like all relationships in life aren't going to serve you or be around for you. You have to continue to move forward and to elevate yourself. And again, it goes back to, what are you committed to? Well, I'm committed to this bad relationship because it's all I know and all I'm used to. That's on you. There's enough information out there, there's enough data. Unless you live in North Korea or Syria or under a rock. So, that ain't even realistic, because North Koreans, a lot of them know that my life isn't ideal. Now, getting out of the regime is a whole nother story, but the information is there. And for you, especially if you're listening and you feel like you're just in a situation where you're stuck, you're not. Just you have to be committed to moving, no matter what that is. See, we don't want to be fully committed because we fear what's uncomfortable on the other side. And we've become comfortable with the pain that we live in.
Yeah,
Oh,
and Tyrus, let me explain this because I want to give somebody just an example because somebody out there might be saying, "Man, y'all ain't never been through that, so y'all don't understand." I'm gonna even talk about the last relationship that I was in, the last long-term relationship that I was in. And before I even get to the details, I broke up with her the day before Valentine's Day.
mm, you just didn't want to buy no gift.
I was broke. I'm just playing. No, so the reason was because I was fed up. And I was in a situation where I said, I'm trying to make this work. And we had been together for 5 years and we were living together and we were doing everything together. And I literally was at a point to where this relationship had pulled emotions out of me that I didn't think I had. It had pulled actions out of me that I didn't think I had. It put me in a dark place where I didn't think I was ever going to go to. But I had to understand that it did not matter the time whatever's going on? Because some people would have said, you know what, Tyrus, it's funny you say that. Some people might have said, well, you just wasn't trying to buy no gift at the time. And they really believe that.
They really believe it.
Some people might have said, nah, I'm not going to do it right now because it's Valentine's tomorrow. I'm really not trying to see it be like that. So you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just stay with her and I'm gonna break up with her later. And then another 3 years goes by and that never happens. And you miserable. But the reason I said that is because I told y'all before I cut the snake off at the head. I woke up that morning with it on my mind, basically. And I remember, and I'm gonna tell y'all the detail to it too. I woke up and I remember she was getting dressed. And one of the things that we had discussed previous is I said, look, man, I don't have any problem with what you do, where you go, because I had been fed up with it because I was like, you're gonna do what you want to do anyway. I just asked for a little bit of respect. But I said, the way that you talk to me, that's not okay. And so Tyrus, when I woke up that morning, I said, hey, where you heading to? She was like, church. I'm like, golly, what did I do to deserve that? She said, I mean, I'm just telling you, I'm going to church. I was like, you know what? You have a good time because I'm done. And she was like, what you mean you done? And I was like, this is over. Like, enjoy yourself. Somebody's gonna make you happy, but that person ain't me, obviously. So this is done with. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people would look at that situation and one say, man, that was right before Valentine's Day.
And she
And
was
why
going
you do it to it right before Valentine's Day? Oh man, you should have waited. Sometimes when you wait, you prolong yourself 3, 4, 5 years. I
mhm,
could have been married to the girl, been miserable in my relationship. There's some people listening right now that might have happened to, and they say, you know what? Because I didn't do it in that moment, it progressed, and I went with the flow. And because I'm passive, all of a sudden I ended up with 2, 3 kids, and I'm married, and I hate my life.
yep,
And I'm just being honest with y'all.
stuck.
The issue is underlyingly to that, we know Valentine's Day is what in February, right?
Yep,
Our lease was not up until May. So every day I had to come into that household and I explained to this person, I said, I appreciate you as a woman. I appreciate you as a person, but this relationship cannot be. And I laid the ground rules to it from there. And this is again the principles on how you have to get through some things, get through some relationships. As I said, you know what? I'm just gonna stay to myself. When I come home from work, I'm gonna go in the bedroom. You could sleep in the bed at night. Just let me know when you're tired. I'm gonna go in the living room. I'll sleep on the couch. I'll at least give you that courtesy. But the issue is, again, a lot of people would have said, "Man, Tyrus, we still here till May. I ain't trying to break up with her right now because I'm gonna wait till the lease is up."
yep,
And all of a sudden, the lease turned into a mortgage together, and the mortgage turned into 2 mortgages together. And then all of a sudden, that turned into both our names is on cars and all this other stuff. And now you stuck.
stuck. Good stuck.
But so you have to understand that although you might not feel it's the ideal timing, you might come up with these justifications in your head, like, oh man, this ain't the right time. I'm worried about this person, blah, blah, blah. Understand that not acting in the moment, not taking control of who you are can set you back so much further than that. Because I honestly could have still been in that relationship today simply because I didn't take control of that situation. But I want people to really understand what I mean by you have to take control, because after you have so many conversations, after you have so many talks, when you sit down and you try to hash it out,
Mm,
and the person's telling you this and that, and you're really trying to work on yourself, you start to think that you're less than a person. You're less than anything on this earth, really. And you should never bring yourself to that point. But like you said, Tyrus, it's a process on how you get there. I didn't get to that point by just waking up that day and saying, man, life is just terrible, right? My relationship is garbage right now. I didn't get there by just doing it that one day. It was over in months and months and months of this building. And it's the same thing for even those situations you talking about, Tyrus. months and months and years and days and opportunities and actions and gifts and all these other things that pile on top of each other. And then all of a sudden, you can't get out. So just remember that there are opportunities that come up and you have to seize in that moment. You got to, what they call it, strike when the iron is hot.
Yeah.
You got to strike it when the iron is hot because otherwise you can set yourself back simply by being passive.
Mm. So as we get ready to wrap up, I want to give the people practical tips in changing their commitment. If today, I almost felt like I was about to go at the end of a church sermon. Today, if you feel like you need to come see X, Y, and Z,
Our first
go
time
get what
visitors.
you go for.
The first time visitors stand up.
I almost went to a sermon closing on that one. Okay. Practical tips for changing your commitment level. First, gain an awareness, take inventory of all your relationships. And when I say relationship, I use that word to signify your relationship with your job, your relationship with your religion, your faith, if you have one, your relationship with your family, your wife, your kids, your mama, daddy, cut, your relationships with your friends, your relationship with money, your relationship to yourself, your relationship with your health, your relationship with your mental, or as Martial Lynch would say, your mentals.
Your mentals.
Take inventory of all of those relationships. That's number one. Well, number one is be intentional. Number two is be intentional about taking inventory of all those relationships. Number three, once you write all those relationships down, right beside it, am I living or dying in this relationship? Am I living or am I just existing in this relationship? Once you have that, begin to commit to changing. So you might say, well, oh, boom, 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 I'm good in all these areas, but my health not right. Commit to figuring out how to change your health. If you don't know how to do that on your own, reach out to people. You can reach out to us. I'm not a health genius, but I got a health coach. She'll put you get you right. I don't know anything about taxes, but I know some CPAs and some accountants. So if you don't know where to go after you dissect and break down and go through what relationships you need to commit to fixing and improving, and if you don't know where to go, reach out to us. Drop us a comment, send us a message so we can connect you with the source. And here's something that I want you to take away. Nothing in this world is free. So while you may have some relationships that can help you, don't go looking for somebody to give you everything for free without you making some kind of investment. When I invested in a coaching program for health, I was able to release over 40 pounds in 90 days. Could I have done it on my own? I doubt it. Maybe over 10 years of trying to figure it all out. But in 90 days, she was able to just give me the information that I was missing. I didn't pay her to be on my back all the time. I paid her to unlock the area that I was blind in. So once you commit, just put your chips together, but get your chickens. That's money for y'all don't know. Get your chickens together and start to save. So when you have the opportunity, you can invest in that person that you might need to help get you along the way. My next step after you take that inventory, after you commit, after you figure out, okay, where do I get the information from? After that, like Corey said, get 1% better every day. Just 1%. We're not asking you to drop everything in your life. I don't tell anybody to go out and quit their job if you're unhappy. Create a plan and get 1% better. And you know what? Even the job thing for me, Corey, that's not a big deal to me. Only that I worked a lot of jobs and I ain't never hated one. Cause my mindset in going to the job is as long as I get my check, they can have the
I
rest.
need my money.
As long as I get the check, it's a means to an end. That's I need to throw I don't know what step this is, but change your perception on things.
Yeah.
Stop perceiving everything in the negative way and perceive it in a way that can help you. Yes, I can go to the job at UPS when I used to work and hate loading those boxes. When I went to that job, I needed the paycheck. So we found out how to make it fun. Competitions, joking, laughing. There were people in there that was miserable. Man, I'm in here loading these boxes all day. I don't like doing this. Quit. Or look at it differently and figure out, okay, what's my game plan for getting out of this? Once you do all those things, you will see your life change dramatically. You'll go to another level. You'll be what you want to be. You'll achieve those things that you felt were out of your reach. There's two R's. You either got reasons or you get results. Here's all the reasons why I can't do this, why I can't, why my life, why, all the reasons. Or you can get results and you can make change and you commit to. Here's some things I want you to commit to. Commit to being excellent in all you do. Commit to change and continue grow and commit to getting results and not having reasons or excuses. That's it for me, Corey. I'm gonna let you add in what you got for the people.
Yeah, I just and you started talking about like, write down what you want to be committed to. I think y'all need to take everything Tyrus just said and 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 like inventory that. But here's the thing. I got a few areas that I want you to write down and even come back, go on the Facebook page, leave it on a YouTube comment, whatever. I want you to one, and we're talking about commitment here. Know who you are. I run across a lot of individuals that I say, tell me about yourself. And they're like, I'm funny. Sure, possibly. But you don't know who you are. So really, I want you to think about and here's some things to think about.
Oh, let me jump in right there real
Go
quick.
ahead.
Hold that thought. And while you're figuring out who you are, figure out who you are, not your title. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm,
Right,
I'm a this, I'm a that. Not that. God forbid anything happened to anybody's loved ones. But if it was just you at
right,
the table by yourself with nobody else, who are you?
right. That part. Because a lot of people, Tyrus, can fall into that and they'd be like, well, I'm a husband, I'm a wife, I'm an uncle, I'm a cousin. What does that mean? I don't like you can easily get that title literally, and I'm not trying to downplay anyone who feels strongly about those titles. You can literally get that title by just embracing the action it takes to get there, right? Like I'm an uncle simply because my brother had a kid, right? Like it's just that doesn't, but what does it actually mean behind that? So that's what I want you to explore, right? So who are you? So here's some things that you can think about, right? How often do you evaluate yourself or reevaluate yourself? How often do you sit down? And I told somebody this the other day. I said, how often do you sit down and really reflect on who you are and what your motives are in life? Because a lot of people that just, man, I'm just going to work. I'm just trying to. And this particular person said, well, I'm just being a mom, and I'm trying to take everything revolves around my kid, and I don't ever take time for myself, right? So you might have lost who you are, so you need to figure that out, right? A lot of people talk about this, and Tyrus, I'm gonna just go there. A lot of people talk about, man, I'll do anything for my kid. I'll die for my kid, but will you live?
Mm, do anything but live for
Right. And by living, I mean progressing and putting yourself in a better position and not just existing to take the next thing that might seem better, the new shiny object to better your life. So who are you, right? Do you walk to the beat of your own drum, right? Do you leave when somebody doesn't give you peace anymore, right? Do you follow your gut on certain things? So know who you are. I would the second one. I want you to commit to your path. Where is it that you're trying to go? What are you trying to do? And I'm not talking about just today, or you might say, man, I don't know where I want to go eventually. Have a vision. What does your lifestyle want to look like? What types of things do you enjoy? Do you want to be able to do those all the time? Do you want to be able to do them sometimes? What are the things that you truly enjoy? Right? Tyrus talked about losing weight. That's part of the path. He knows what he wants to look like. He knows what he wants to feel like eventually, right? And even break it down. Tyrus, to be honest with you, some people be like, "Oh man, I need to lose. I need to lose 20. I'm gonna just round off the number 100 pounds." And they'd be like, man, I got to lose 100 pounds. That's so much weight. But what if you just lost 10 pounds 10 times?
Hmm.
Sounds simple enough, right? Like just take it bit by bit. What if you just lost 10 times? But so here's the thing. I want you to think about what path are you committed to, right? And I mean 100% commit to that path, because you have an end goal in what you think it looks like or what you want it to look like. So I mean, in every fiber of your being, I want you to go after that. I want you to commit to your personal relationships. And the reason I say that is because if you're not around the right people, find the right people. Go to a conference, follow some influencers, look at the comments, and then reach out to them and be like, hey, I'm looking for some friends. I know we quarantine right now, but go find somewhere where you will find the people that probably are thinking like you. You might run into some bad apples. That's fine. But you're going to learn something on that journey. So commit to your personal relationships. Are they lacking? Are you spending time with the people that mean the most to you? Are you connecting with the people that mean the most to you? Even if it's 10, 20 minutes a day. There's sometimes that I call my mama just 10 minutes, just be like, hey, what you up to? I'm just checking in on you, because I know that's my time to commit to that relationship, right? I'm gonna bunch these two together and I'm gonna say commit to your physical and your mental health. Because if you're not taking care of yourself, you're in it for the long game. If you don't commit to these things, you're either gonna go crazy or you're gonna be real out of shape trying to get there. Um, and then finally, commit to the hunger inside of you. And the reason I say that is because Tyrus, we always say, man, I'm so hungry. Let me go get some food. And you even see the homeless people finding food, and they're gonna find some food. But when you get hungry, you're gonna sit there and you're gonna say, I know what to do, and I know how to get what I need to get some food. But for some reason, we don't adopt the same mindset when it comes to pursuing us and committing to something for us or the betterment of ourselves. So I want you to think about when you hungry and you need some food, or you thirsty and you need some water, or you need something to quench your thirst, and you're like, I just can't take it anymore. That's what I mean by commit to the hunger, because I want you to think about, look, when I'm really trying to get somewhere, as bad as I would try to go get some food, that's as bad as I'm gonna try to commit to all these things. That's as bad as how I'm gonna try to accomplish all these things. So just remember who you are, your path, your personal relationships, your physical and mental health, and then that hunger. Commit and stand for something, because otherwise the world will allow you to be passed by.
Good. That's good. I mean, that's a lot for the people. That is a lot for the people. And what we want you guys to do is just, if you got to replay the end, just to recap, just do that. So you can begin to apply these things to your life. That way you can begin to move forward, because there's no excuse. We're all here to help one another grow. And there's no reason why we can't enjoy that growth and actually enjoy life and live life and be happy. And, that it just sounds almost cliche to say, I just want to be happy. Well, figure out what that means for you. What are the steps and action plans that you got to take? And then go and get it. Happiness ain't going to come knock on your door. Just like I remember Corey wanting God to come out to break the clouds, to come tell me, okay, God, what's my mission and purpose in life? And I wanted him to just break the clouds, come down, glide through, and say, Tires, I want you to do this exactly.
With a
That's
little scroll. Here you go.
give me the scroll,
Yeah.
etch it. That's what I used to want when my mind was there. But then I realized that who am I to even request something like that? So who are you to sit around wishing for a better life to show up at your doorstep? Think about that. And sometimes, the empowerment platform, we're gonna give you that tough love because too often people have given each other the soft side. Oh, it'll be all right. Just wait it out. We want you to go out and get it. If you don't live by nothing else, live by two R's. You either got reasons or you got results. Choose which one you have in your life today. We'd like to thank you for joining us again for another episode of the Empowerment Platform, where our mission is to empower you to reach your goals. Go out and get it. You either got reasons or you got results. That's all. That's it. Corey, you got anything else?
Nah, I'm good.
Well,
I
we'll
think they got what they need.
try. Hey, watch this gonna be released after the game. So we're gonna see what the Ravens do. What's your prediction, Corey?
Man, man, I really think they keep it out of Josh Allen's hands for the majority of the game. So I'm gonna say Ravens 24, Bills 20.
Ooh, close one. I'm going with the Ravens, home team. Hopefully they go ahead and pull it out, do their thing so we can go to that championship and then
Yeah, buddy.
Super Bowl. So we almost there. Alabama did what we do. We came through on Ohio State. Shout out to all the Ohio State fans out there. Revenge is sweet. We came
Y'all had revenge in the first quarter.
in the first quarter, set records. I ain't gonna even go there because I love y'all Ohio State fans. My cousin, he won't even answer the phone, but that's all right. I'll find him. All right. We thank you for joining us, and we'll catch you next week.